My name is John Hatsis, and I am a software developer with Eam RFID Solutions. Today we're going to be going over a lot of things about RFID. I want to tell you a little bit about who we are as a company. What is RFID? What are some of the challenges that we're facing in the industry? And what are some of the solutions that we've provided? We've got quite an array of solutions. Eam Worldwide just celebrated 60 years in business. They have outstanding customer service, and they have been manufacturing life vests and life rafts for that entire 60 years. Today, 48% of the world's life vests are manufactured at EAM. Now, Eam RFID Solutions, the division that I'm part of, was founded on a vision in 2009 by our CEO and Director of Operations. We wanted to move forward. We wanted to step into a new opportunity for asset management tracking. We did that by implementing it internally. The services that we provide are RFID design, implementation, and support. And as a Spec 2000 community member, we bring together a validation of understanding the design and the layout of the Spec 2000 format as it applies to RFID implementation. Now, the way we got into RFID is we ran an original pilot in 2007 and 2008 in which we placed RFID into our life vests, and every life vest since has now been RFID enabled. The vests are tracked through every phase in the manufacturing process, all the way from cutting screen to the day it leaves and shipping. And we use these real-time updates to understand the life cycle and know where and when our life vests are going through the manufacturing process. Now I'm going to show a little marketing video about EAM Worldwide and how it's helped us internally. EAM RFID Solutions was founded on the drive and ingenuity of EAM Worldwide, a 60-year-old manufacturer of survival equipment. Today, 48% of the world's vests and 42% of the world's rafts are manufactured at EAM.
As an industry leader, EAM felt the adoption of RFID into our life vest products would provide greater visibility to our processes and also provide better service to our clients. We now include RFID in every life vest product we produce, making it easier for us to track our internal inventory and client shipments.
We're one of the first companies to pan RFID technologies in the aviation industry. Since we began, we have been busy creating solutions to meet those demands that clients have requested, such as inventory tracking, security, and logistics. Our initial concentration was tagging and tracking onboard aircraft assets, a solution we call Tag the Craft. But recently, we've noticed an increased interest in RFID across all industries. Barcode's just not good enough anymore. People want to track hundreds of items simultaneously, and that's something we could definitely provide. Our fixed reader software was developed to give users the ability to automatically count items by simply passing through a read zone. And then those assets can be updated to any existing ERP system.
Since implementing RFID in our manufacturing processes, we've seen a decrease in process time of 30%. Because of the accuracy of RFID, we've been able to eliminate miscounts and short shipments. Our on-time delivery on RFID-enabled products is 99.8%. The RFID implementation has been great for us and for our clients.
What we've done here internally at EAM is just the tip of the iceberg. Our solutions can be customized to meet an array of tracking needs. One of the biggest demands we have seen is for the improvement of inventory tracking and visibility. We can do that with real-time tracking and automatic synchronization. Once items are scanned, we could track their asset location and add visibility. The speed of the system can really cut down on labor costs and increase efficiency.
Our productivity has increased over 40%. The same number of workers can process more orders per day, driving down the cost of manufacturing.
We no longer have to physically see an item to track it. RFID software, readers, and tags are taking us to the next level of product knowledge and tracking capabilities. I'm just glad we're in the forefront.
RFID has made a huge difference for us. You heard our Director of Operations talk about a 40% increase. We directly relate a huge portion of that capacity increase to the RFID implementation. He states in that video that we now have the same amount of people in the same square footage producing a lot more. And that's the power of RFID, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. So what is RFID? It's a wireless non-contact system. It uses radio frequency, and it allows you to transfer data from a tag for the purpose of automatic identification and tracking of assets. Now, it's all around us. You've probably used it on the way here. It's in SunPass. It's in your passport, credit cards. It's in the medical industry, even mainstream retail, and maybe at your favorite watering hole. Some of the hardware that we use when implementing these solutions are our mobile readers, the fixed readers in the middle. They give you the ability to actually set up read zones where no human interaction has to be involved. The mobile readers are obviously quite capable of being out onto the tarmac or in a remote location, giving you a lot of flexibility. The tags themselves, they come in a wide range of sizes, capabilities, but there are a couple of major classifications, active tags and passive tags. Passive tags don't have a battery source and their read range is often much more limited. Active tags have the capability of having things like GPS units on them, temperature monitoring, alerting, lights, audio, a lot of capabilities with the active tags and a huge read range. So a lot of different, for a lot of different environments too. We have tags such as the one in the bottom left corner that goes on textiles, so this can be actually sewn into cloth. And there are tags that can be placed on metal objects as well as plastic, all types of environments, high temperature, high pressure. Now, in this industry, we face a lot of challenges. The regulations aside, there are things like visualization. Where have my assets been? Where are they going? How long is it taking to go from one point to another point? And who's taken those assets where they've been? Validation. Is this item expired? Is it about to expire? Is this item ready for maintenance? Has it had maintenance? A lot of issues when it comes to validation. Speed. Anytime you're doing inventory counts or you're in a manufacturing process, there's a lot of administrative tasks, a lot of paperwork. RFID can really address those issues. And then, of course, security. RFID can be used in many different ways when it comes to security. You can actually attach a person's identity to a particular asset as they've checked it out or checked it in. And those are issues that we can address with RFID. Visibility being one of the biggest. This is a common scenario in our industry. These are serviceables. Trying to read just the part number off this piece, off one of these pieces can be a daunting task. With RFID, the type of situation can become whether the part is 10-year-old, 15 years old. This is what you see instead of those washed off part numbers or manufacturing numbers, serial numbers. So the solution comes in, and we want to be at the forefront of that. We help to bring businesses the increased visibility through automation and an innovative portfolio of inventory, supply chain, and asset management applications. And we've developed quite a few. We have a pretty diverse selection. The advantages by these solutions is that we're going to increase automation, visibility, quality, and process optimization, and that's going to result in a reduction in cost. And that's the bottom line. That's what it's all about in the end. Now, a lot of you, especially being Trax customers, you have the capability of using barcode. The RFID advantage over barcode is no line of sight requirement. Barcode does require for you to actually scan the item line of sight. We don't have that issue with RFID. Portable databases can read multiple tags simultaneously. Now I want you to think about that. If you're inventorying a shelf, right, and you got 50 items on it, I can now inventory 50 items within seconds. And we're going to actually show you that here in a second. With barcode, you got to scan each one individually. The tags are equipped with read and write capabilities. With barcode, you create the barcode and that's it. With RFID, you have the ability to embed information actually onto the tag and actually change that information if you need to. You can actually create maintenance records on history records on parts. There's multiple types of tags that can stand extremely harsh environments. We're talking chemicals, high heat, the type of environments that we're used to working with in this industry. Long read range. Some of these tags have the capability of literally being read at a mile's distance. Those are more expensive tags and not as common, but the capability is there. And the ability to track assets in real time. Knowing where your assets are in an instant, just looking at a screen and knowing what you have, where it's going, and watching it transition as it unfolds within your processes. Now I'm going to talk specifically about some of the software solutions, and I'm going to talk last about what we've collaborated with Trax on. But we have quite a few options. One of our most comprehensive suites is our Tag Pilot suite. It bridges a gap between the real and virtual world by placing itself as a middleware in between your existing databases and your edge devices, things like barcode. And by the way, this works with barcode as well as RFID. But it also works with things like GPS, audio devices, video, light devices. Any type of device that you can think of just about can actually work with this system, giving you a portfolio of asset management device hardware. Now the architecture, the way it's broken down, is it has a portal application up front. It's simple web interface, which gives you visualization, alerting, standard administration of login authority, as well as who can see the assets, monitoring of those assets, and design tools to customize your business rules. The middleware itself is where all the magic happens. It's got the workflow manager, a rule and state engine, as well as a trace manager, giving you full visibility of your assets. You can actually custom design the business rules by saying, once an asset enters into zone A, B happens. Whether that's alert someone, update a database, just update the status of that particular asset. And then your device management layer, the reader abstraction layer, which allows it to be extremely robust, literally giving you the ability to track assets from continent to continent. The reader abstraction layer is for load balancing. Instead of creating all the load at one server, we have these reader abstraction layers that allow us to manage the devices at their local location and only send the critical and important updates back to your database to centralize all the information. The rule engine is one of the most impressive parts of Tag Pilot. This is a standard scenario in manufacturing, not that this applies to a lot of people in the room, but just to give you an idea, in manufacturing or in many different processes, you have zones in which an asset must follow a certain process. It needs to go from 1 to 2 to 3 and 5 to 6 in this particular scenario. If it alters from that scenario, with this system, you have the ability to get alerts real time, text messages, emails, in real time, letting you know that an asset hasn't went through its proper life cycle. And that can be in all types of industries. The alerting themselves comes with OK, warning, and error type alerts. So it doesn't have to be something that's critical, just an informational type of error. And we can actually give you things like warnings like how many objects have went into an area if it's a shipping area where it's full and needs to be taken care of. Things like geofencing, knowing that your assets have left an area if you want to create a geofence. Device management, knowing when your devices go down and when they've come back up. And of course, the rule engine to make sure your business rules are taken care of. Now, Tag Pilot distinguishes between objects and tags, and this is an important concept because one object can be linked to several tags. That's the beauty of RFID. It's not like barcode. It's not there for life. You can actually take defective tags off and it has no impact on the traceability. You still have that history within your database. Throw a new tag on and it completely will track it all the way through the process. You can actually place multiple items in containers and track the containers. So you could have assets that have RFID on it and then containers that have RFID on it and then track bulk items, knowing where they're going. Now what got us into it was cabin asset tracking, because it's the biggest pain point for airlines, right? You have things like your first aid kits, life vests especially, flashlights, oxygen generators, and lines. These are things that take a long time to do maintenance checks on. We can reduce those maintenance checks down to minutes, literally minutes. Oxygen generators, instead of getting behind the panels to check the expiration dates, you can actually scan through the panels. And the way it works is you just get the aircraft seat profile from Tag Pilot Server right there on the mobile reader. You walk through and scan the cabin, and then you just sync up with your Tag Pilot Server. It can be done remotely through Wi-Fi, GSM, or you can wait till you get back to the hangar and actually sync up right there on LAN. Now the mobile software is extremely intuitive. As a software developer, that's always an important issue. We've made it where simple touch-based icons, you choose a tail sign, you choose the assets you want to scan in the top right, and you have a simple seat layout. You then walk down the aisle, and as you're scanning the assets, color-coded objects on the seats will change, alerting you to know, is this asset there, number one? Is it expired? Is it about to expire? And then that gives you the capability to actually send your maintenance people out. So you can now take the daunting task of doing these maintenance checks and turn them into minutes, and you can get your birds in the air a lot quicker. And that's just a little bit about what I was talking about. If the asset is present, but it's expired, it turns red. If it's present but it hasn't been scanned, it stays yellow, and if it requires service, it turns orange. So it's very, very intuitive. Now, tag control is one of our smaller footprints. It's for programming the tags, giving you local tag tracking, tag updating, and tag writing. The interface on this is extremely intuitive. It looks a little bit like your Outlook folder, and it follows the Spec 2000 format. So it actually has data validation. It doesn't allow you to incorrectly enter parameters based on the Spec 2000 format. It won't allow you to do that. It actually monitors chip size and won't let you try to overwrite the memory. It's extremely, extremely intuitive. We've created this for a non-experienced, non-technical user. Now, just to give you an idea of what information can be stored on RFID tags, this is a high memory chip. Things like the birth record, all Spec 2000. A scratch pad to write notes if your mechanics need to write notes onto that asset. Imagine, this information is embedded onto the asset. They don't have to go to a terminal to see it. They can actually scan the asset and pull all this information off, the parts history records. And you can update those as you have the life cycle of that asset. So as you create maintenance, right there at the asset, you can create that maintenance record, update it, and send it back to your database. TagFlow is a little demo unit that we created. We showed this actually in Hamburg, Germany. Another pain point we had noticed was actually seat covers. Seat covers are a pretty daunting task to keep track of. You got 7 or 8 life cycles with your seat covers. Imagine setting up a read zone, throwing all those seat covers into a basket and just passing it by that read zone, instantaneously updating the wash cycle and knowing the exact life cycle of every one of your seat covers. It doesn't have to be seat covers, though. This could be anything within your processes. If you want to set up a fixed reader and track where it's going, what's going on to it, update the status of it, you have the ability. And it's literally scans it in seconds. It's instantaneous. These fixed readers have the capability of reading up to 160 tags per second. And finally, one of the highly requested items in this industry is the ability to actually secure items, whether it be tools or other items you're checking in and out. We have the ability to actually attach RFID tags in there, link a particular ID from a person to that asset as they're checking it in and out. You'll know when they checked it in, and you'll know when they checked it out. And the RFID tag will detect when that asset is in the locker, and you can lock that up. So a lot of management, security management there. Now, we're really excited about teaming up with Trax. Trax being one of the largest ERPs in the world, definitely, in my opinion, the best. It was it was a natural marriage for us to come together with them and provide an RFID Edgeware. The beauty of this collaboration is that it's non-intrusive for your IT guys. This is just an Edgeware. It's Trax software with mobile devices that have the ability just to access the web calls they've provided for us. So we don't turn a hamburger into hamburger meat, okay? We are just an Edgeware, and we give you the capabilities right now with your existing Trax to implement RFID right away. You have the ability to now do your standard bin transfer and receiving, your checking in of tools, checking out, and inventory counts. If you're using pen and paper, if you're using barcode, we can reduce those inventory count times by significant percentages. I'm going to show you a little bit about how that works right here. The standard batch numbers you're used to using, you can actually assign a count number, assign the actual station, your location you've got, as well as what you're counting. And I'm going to play this little video for you, short video right here. Right now he's clicking on settings and he's switching from barcode to RFID because you have the ability to use both right now with the software. And he's going to go back and he's going to go into inventory and do a standard inventory count. So he's going to put his ID in right there, click on one of the aisles, and name this count number so he has tracking for it. And now they're red. So he's about to start scanning. And as he scans, they're going to turn green, giving him visual feedback, extremely intuitive. So now he's got all of these that he's scanned and checked that inventory. And he's scrolling down, he's showing you the different batch numbers. The one out to the side is the actual count number. So he's going to scan bin 2, but this bin is going to be there's going to be some expendables in here. Maybe an item that they're too small to be tagged individually. So he's going to go ahead and change that quantity because he's visualized, he saw 9, and he's going to attach that to that particular batch number. So that's how we address expendables, 2 items that are items that wouldn't be worth tagging. So now you can specifically say that batch number had 9. So that might be a container that has some type small expendables in it. He's doing that again here. Now, you can see the red 20 there. It hasn't been submitted. It's saved right there in the local database. And the beauty of this is, just in case you don't have Wi-Fi or you don't have GSM connection right there, you can actually save this and sync up later. So this gives you the ability to do remote counts, even when you don't have Wi-Fi, LAN, or GSM. You can save it and just sync it up later. So I wanted to give you, I think I'm running out of time. I wanted to give you a couple of minutes to ask some questions. But, what's that? We do. We have a booth outside, and we'll be out there if you have any questions. I'd just like to tell you in closing, you know, the economy right now is lean, and in every corner of the economy, we're trying to make cuts. In the aviation industry, it's one of those industries in which we definitely try to cut corners and get lean and try to save $1 here and there. But when times are lean, that's when you need to innovate. That's when you need to change what you're doing to get an edge. RFID is one of those things that can bring ROI in a short amount of time. It can change the way people are doing their jobs. It can change the way companies view asset management. So if it's not something you've considered, I think it's something you need to put on your plate, because the aviation industry is going in that direction, and it's either one of those get on the trains or watch it pass by. Thank you for letting me speak today.
Thank you.